The Kimberley region, a vast landscape, 420,000 square kilometres of ancient and magnificent terrain. But with only 24 hours in a day, there is only one true way to appreciate it: by air and with Alligator Airways. The Kimberley region's isolation is one of its greatest drawcards. Some areas are so isolated that very few people have visited them since the original Aboriginal inhabitants. Fortunately, you can now enjoy this country without an enormous amount of time by flying with Alligator Airways. We have a variety of air and ground experiences to suit everyone. This program gives you a taste of what you'll experience on our many tours. Alligator Airways formed in 1983 with one single float plane, dragged from the bottom of Sydney Harbour. Craig and Gail Muir have grown the operation into a major charter company in the Kimberley region, based in the East Kimberley town of Kununurra. Recently, our efforts were recognised by the Western Australian Tourism Awards. We won the prestigious Significant Tour and Transport Operators Award. Alligator Airways operates a fleet of no less than 17 aircraft. An aircraft undergoes a thorough and rigorous selection process before being included in the fleet. This ensures the safety and comfort of our passengers. All aircraft are high wing, so there's a clear view of the countryside. They are also equipped with headphones and professionally recorded commentary, providing you with the best possible experience. We value the comfort of our passengers and have aircraft to suit both small and large groups. We operate new Australian-built air vans, and we're the only operator of float planes in Kununurra. Alligator Airways will take you on a scenic flight over Kununurra, the youngest town in the Kimberley region. Kununurra is derived from an Aboriginal word meaning meeting of waters. This is because it lies on the banks of the mighty Ord River, the driving force behind the successful Ord irrigation scheme. This river system irrigates over 13,000 hectares of farmland. With crops for as far as the eye can see, it's difficult to believe that you're in the outback of Australia's northwest. From the time of the early pioneers, it was thought that the Ord River could be harnessed like the Nile River in Egypt. Australia's pioneering family, the Duracs, established cattle stations in the East Kimberley in the late 1800s. And their grandson, Kim Durack, was the agricultural visionary back in 1941. His research was the catalyst to the damming of the mighty Ord River. A flight over the lower diversion dam wall shows the magnitude of water that it controls. And winding its way through the hills, beautiful Lake Kununurra. We fly over this splendid 55-kilometre lake and over the Lake Argyle dam wall. Now, take in the magnitude of this vast blue expanse of water. Lake Argyle was created when the top dam was built in 1971. It is Australia's only inland sea, and it's the world's largest man-made body of water. The vastness of Lake Argyle will surprise you.
It's quite immense when you fly over it. I didn't really take in the concept of how big it was until we did that. It's been something I've heard about since I was a kid because a friend of mine, her dad came up here to help build it. So it was great to be able to see it.
On average, it holds 9 times the volume of Sydney Harbour. But in the wet season, the amount of water it holds can double. The mountains of the surrounding Carboyd Ranges tumble into the lake. Over 200 million years old, in the wet season, they're home to hundreds of waterfalls. Now, let us give you a taste of what Alligator Airways has to offer via air and land. Experience all the wonders of the ancient Bungle Ranges.
When you fly with Alligator Airways, we bring you here to the Bungles. Over 360 million years old, this area is actually an ancient creek bed. It's been geologically uplifted and eroded over time.
World Heritage listed and known for their beehive-style domes. It's an experience never to be forgotten. And if you have the time, take the added adventure of a fully guided, informative ground tour at Purnalula National Park. On landing, you'll be picked up in an air-conditioned four-wheel drive by your tour guide. By immersing yourself in a Bungles air and land package, be one of the lucky ones to visit Echidna Chasm. Dramatic sheer chasm walls and Liverstonia fan palms are striking features on this tour.
This is probably one of my favourite spots on the walk. You feel like you're going into a bit of an oasis with all these Liverstonia palms here. Now these plants here have been here from the prehistoric days. They're quite an old plant. Managed to survive all the fires, and basically that's from all the fruits that sit at the top of the plant. Once they turn like a plummy colour, they drop and their seeds find their way in and they start shooting up again.
Walk through the renowned beehive domes and enjoy a picnic at Cathedral Gorge Amphitheatre, where you'll hear tour guides play didgeridoos.
Yes, we had a very good plane flight, a wonderful landing, very smooth, and we've had a wonderful time up here.
We just took a flight today over it, and it was sensational, and it was the best thing, one of the best things I've done. So, because you get a true idea of how large and how big this park is, and how immense the domes are.
It's really good to have that aerial view of the geography of the country, but also the commentary that went with the plane flight was quite informative and helped you fill in the gaps.
If you decide to stay for the night, you'll learn more about this spectacular place by chatting with your guides over a meal at the Wilderness Camp. On the way back to Kununurra, we fly over the Argyle Diamond Mine, which produces over 1/3 of the world's diamonds and includes the rare and beautiful Argyle pink diamonds. As the hills turn a rich red in the late afternoon light, we fly back over Lake Argyle. And if you've chosen to fly on one of our float planes, you'll land on beautiful Lake Kununurra, disembarking on our jetty at Kona Caravan Park. You get to see the best of Kununurra and Lake Argyle on an Alligator float plane.
We're fortunate enough that we take off here from Lake Kununurra. We follow the Ord River down to Lake Argyle. The beauty of bringing the tourists out is that they're all really impressed. They all really enjoy the tours. Some of them say that they're overloaded with all the fantastic scenery that we actually get to look at. There are hundreds of islands down there and the scenery is just stunning, and we're lucky enough to bring our passengers down there and get to land on the water. The most stunning thing I find about Lake Argyle are the difference of the colours. The water, the red rock, The way the sun hits the rocks, it's just breathtaking.
Our float planes are a fantastic way to see Lake Argyle as they fly low over the lake. This increases your chances of seeing freshwater crocodiles. Land on the Silkwaters near the top dam and take a Lake Argyle boat cruise. View the panoramic vista of Lake Argyle while on your way to breakfast at the Lake Argyle Village and experience pioneering history with a tour of Argyle Homestead Museum. Add history, culture, marine life and breathtaking scenery and it all adds up to the works. See the Diamond Coastline, million-acre cattle stations and national parks, and visit a remote Aboriginal community. Immerse yourself in the history of this ancient land. We fly towards the Cambridge Gulf, where 5 spectacular East Kimberley rivers head to the sea. Here, the town of Wyndham is nestled in the base of the towering summit of the Bastion Range. Engulfed by cliffs and home to large saltwater crocodiles, this country is both beautiful and treacherous. We fly over a section of coastline where the famous float plane, the Atlantis, landed after running out of fuel in 1932. It is here that 2 German aviators suffered at the hands of nature before being rescued by Aboriginal people 2 months later. They tried to get to safety by building a boat using a float from their plane and 2 bathrobes and trousers for the sail. But, unable to get their bearings, they lost hope of ever being found and drifted back to the coastline where they waited to die. After they were rescued, one of the aviators became insane. The other aviator fully recovered and eventually managed to fly the float plane back to Germany. This ancient Kimberley landscape is punctuated with astonishing gorges and waterfalls. Only a few cruise boats and private catamarans get to see sections of this beautiful coastline, and you also get to experience it in comfort from an Alligator Airways aircraft. You'll orbit over the Berkeley River, King George Falls and Mitchell Plateau. This is a great opportunity to take out your camera for that once-in-a-lifetime photograph. Now we fly away from this beautiful part of the East Kimberley and to Kalumbaroo remote community. On landing, take a tour of the monastery and mission. You'll be taken back to a time when Australia was a part of a world war and when Aboriginal people and missionaries practiced their religions side by side. Mistaken for a camouflaged RAAF base, Kalumbaroo Mission was air raided during the Second World War. Benedictine nuns have worked and lived here for over 40 years. Experience this history and meet some of these people as you tour through the mission. Next, we fly over the Drysdale River National Park, the largest national park in the Kimberley. It is extremely remote and during the wet, completely inaccessible. A 1 million acre cattle station lies within the park, Drysdale Cattle Station. And a Works tour isn't over without a Works beef burger. We land at Drysdale and sit down for a guarantee to satisfy you beef burger. While lunch is served, chat with the owners and learn how they run their 1 million acre cattle station. Jump aboard again for a return trip to Kununurra.
I loved it, absolutely loved it. Come and see the Kimberleys, it's the only way to see it, especially in one day.
The East Kimberley landscape is among the most magnificent in the world, with unbelievable sunrises and sunsets that can cast most unusual hues on the ranges. There is a lot of exploring to do, and why not do it in comfort with Alligator Airways? Our scenic tours will give you an eagle's view of the East Kimberley. After you've experienced this country with us, you'll never truly come back to Earth.